Hello, sweet friends. This is Gina. Welcome to the Rebookery channel. Today I'm going to share with you some new things I have in the shop and 3 new journals that I got obsessed with yesterday and finally finished them. You can see I have paint on my hands because I went all out on these journals. They have splatters of paint and fabric and oh, they're good. They're good stuff. Okay, so let me start with the latest kit that I have in my shop, and there's actually ones in my shop right now. So I have been thinking about, now I don't live near a beach, but I've been thinking about, this is the beach time of year, so beaches, lakes, rivers, any water source that you live near, whether it's up like in Maine or it's on the coast, like the Gulf Coast, or you go across the world, just anything that has to do with beaches and fish and seashells and sand. And I have put together a kit that I'm just kind of calling Seaside. So these are some bits of wallpaper that I actually need to still put in the kit, but I wanted to show you guys. This is kind of the theme that I'm going for. There's going to be lots of blues and lots of greens and reds and, you know, sky and water and things like that. So let me show you a sample of a kit. Okay, so this is a kit. My husband put the kits together for me last night, and so let's open it up and let's see what's inside. So with this kit, I'm going to let you choose your golden book or your child's book or children's book. It may not be a golden book, it may be a tell-a-tale book. But anyway, I've pulled together, I had 16 ocean or water themed books. So that's how many kits I could make. The books are going to be in good condition, meaning that they are intact and the story is there. You could read it, or what I'm assuming you're going to do is cut it apart and use it for your journaling. So like this one, it's missing the gold foil on the front, but it's still intact and it still has the story. So each one of them is in a little bit different condition, but they're all in good readable condition, but even better for crafting. So you'll get a golden book, you get to choose. You'll have an envelope that is full of some goodies. So let me pull these out. So these are some stencils. So they're these little cards, and then you can actually punch out whatever the object is. So you'll get 2 of those, and that's from 1989. You'll get some fish playing cards, okay? And this one's like a flashcard size, a little bit bigger, and then 2 smaller ones. And then you'll get some more wallpaper, little wallpaper chunks, like little squares or little rectangles. So that will be inside the envelope. I was searching and searching and searching for some fabric, some vintage fabric that would go with this, and kept scratching my head and thinking, do I have any fish? And I know I have some, but it's at school, it's in my classroom, and I just could not find any fish fabric. And then I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have that sailboat fabric. So this is some old fabric that I found in my stash a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, oh, I haven't used this. I need to maybe put it in the shop, blah, blah, blah. And so I just had it set off to the side. It actually worked perfect. I had the perfect amount to put a small rectangle in. There's one kit I think that actually has 2 smaller squares that will be about the same size of this rectangle, but this fabric is just, I love it. The vintage and the worn, and then the little sailboats in the red, white, and blue. In the kit, there's going to be lots of goodies. This one is especially interesting. So this is a scuba diving card. I've never been scuba diving before, but it's like a waterproof type, so you can still write on it, but it's you can tell it's got a little bit of a waterproof finish, which would make sense if you're scuba diving. But it's got all this stuff that you would fill out, and I'm assuming this is to give to somebody if you're trying to get scuba diving hours in or certification or something, or maybe this is an actual scuba diving place and they're asking for comments. But anyway, so this is kind of a cool little piece of ephemera. So this is a scuba diving ticket is what I'm going to call it. You're going to get a couple of pages from some field guides. And I think I listed these on, I put them on Instagram. One of them is Seashells of the World, and then the other one is Seashores of the World. So you get a couple pieces of field guide pages. I found some really cool, I knew I wanted to do this kit for a while, and so I've been on the hunt for fish and ocean themed things whenever I go to estate sales or thrift stores. So I hit the jackpot a couple of weeks ago. So you get a piece of this stationery. You'll get a small little note piece of paper that'll go with it. You'll get this. I love this notepad because this has got the person's name on it. His name is Michael Shea. And then it's got these shells. I always like using people's notepads and things that it's got somebody else's name on it. I don't know why. I just think that is super cool to use those because most people want to throw them away because they're like, my name's not Dorothy. I don't want to use those, but I actually love them. So you'll get a piece of Michael Shea's seashell stationery, and then you'll get a piece of this stationery. Look at that. Isn't that cool with the cutout and the tropical fish? I love that. So 4 pieces of stationery. Then you're going to get a vintage recipe card from 1971, Betty Crocker, and it is going to be seafood themed. So shrimp, and I think there was some tuna in there, lobster, trout, which is not necessarily ocean, but still it's going to be more of that water theme. So yeah, you'll get a seafood recipe. You will get a vintage postcard from my stash, and the vintage postcard will have something to do with ocean or water or a tropical resort. You'll get a book page. You'll get a book page from a book that I just found a couple of weeks ago, and it was called I Can Read About Sharks. And so it's going to be a longer page like this, and it has this blue color in it. And it was like 1978. You are going to get some old maps. And what I tried to pull for the old maps was, let me show you the book I pulled from. So this is a atlas that I have, and I love, love, love this because of the blue. I mean, the blue is just phenomenal. That blue is amazing. And so this would be cool to put in your journaling as a background or something. So I made sure that one piece has a lot of blue. I mean, maybe not as much as this one. And then the other one may not have as much blue, but every piece has blue. So even though that this says Brazil, and maybe you're not going to Brazil, you can still use this as your background or as ephemera in your journaling. It would just be a loose interpretation of your take on the beach. Then I have, there were these storybooks that I saw, and I grabbed, there was like 4 of them, and it was a reading book, and it was all about sharks and other sea creatures. So you get a couple of pages from that, and then you will get 1, 2, 3 pages from this vintage, and it was 1978 Sea Creatures coloring book. And that's actually where the little stencil came from. It was on the back of the coloring book. So you get 3 of those pages. So you're going to get quite a bit of stuff. And who knows, I always like to throw extra stuff in. So you never know what will actually arrive in your mailbox. But this is what I am going to call my Seaside kits. And I will have 16 of those. And like I said, they are already in my Etsy shop, and you will get to choose whatever book you want to go with. Okay, so we'll see if this works. I'm gonna go, got the basket, and we'll just kind of see if we can flip through. So this is Peter Pan and the Pirates, A Day at the Seashore, Water Babies, Donald Duck's Toy Sailboat, Whales, Woody Woodpecker Takes a Trip. This one's got the best illustrations. I love this one. This is a Whitman Big Tell-a-Tale called By the Sea. Now these are this one's a little bit smaller. This is Animals at the Seashore. A golden book called About the Seashore. That one's old. Bugs Bunny in Something Fishy, and another one that has gorgeous illustrations, the colors. This one, the cover is a little worn, but the pages are gorgeous. This is a first little golden book, so it's a little bit smaller. Barney's Sandcastle. My Little Book of Fish. Love, love, love this one. Seashells for Katie and Andy. The Sailor Dog. Again, the illustrations in this are just some of my favorite, because of course it's by Garth Williams, so any of his illustrations I absolutely love. Oh, look at the colors in that. Okay, so this was Sailor Dog, and then another one whose illustrations are unparalleled, Scuffy the Tugboat. Here's why I love these illustrations. This book has got to be one of the most colorful, and it's just pretty. This book is just pretty. So I put this one in because it does have to do with water. It does have to do with oceans and rivers, and yeah, just absolutely love that one. Okay, so those will be the titles, and those will be in my Etsy shop. The next new item that I have in my Etsy shop is I've got some new book page bundles. So I have dug into my Sesame Street stash. So some people have asked me if I have Sesame Street stuff. Here's the thing. Sesame Street is my absolute all-time, without a doubt, hands down, favorite of the favorites. So I've been hoarding them, and it's taken me a while to get over the fact that I can't hoard these. I've got to do something with them. I grew up on Sesame Street. My kids grew up on Sesame Street. I learned how to speak in Spanish from Sesame Street. I learned how to read from Sesame Street. As a 1970s kid, that was my go-to, because we didn't have channels like we have today. So I have gotten into my Sesame Street stash. I have this library set. And so what I've done is I've taken volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I've broken them apart, and I've put them into book page bundles. So when you go to choose what one you want, I just took whatever was on the top, whatever page was on the top, and then that became the title. It's a mix from all 5 of the volumes. So let me just flip through this one and show you what is in it. And these are all double-sided. So you'll get some different types of illustrations. The more realistic ones, you'll get ones that are more like sketched and colored. There's comics and rhymes, photographs, all of the characters, even my favorite was Guy Smiley, and I love Guy Smiley. And so yeah, you'll even see Guy Smiley in here. And yeah, these are just these, if you are a 70s kid, you know what I mean. This brings back a lot of memories, and there's so much stuff you could cut out of these and put into your journaling. But you can also, if you are a person who likes to make journals, or you want to try to make your own journals, these would be great pages to fold and to make a journal out of. Remember the Vintage Reader Sunburst? Well, I have another copy, but I haven't done anything to it yet. But I wanted to show you what I was talking about with a vintage reader. Actually, this looks like it is in perfect condition. So there was another reader that was like by this same company, the Houghton Mifflin, and it was called Honeycomb. and it had a purple cover, and I don't have them right now because I've actually turned them into the journals that you're going to see here in just a second, but I think I have a picture. I'll insert it right here, let you look at what it is. Most of you guys probably recognize it because this was a reading book that was very popular, especially in the United States in the 70s and 80s. So what I have done is I had 3 copies of Honeycomb, and I just, again, took the pages apart and created some page bundles. So this time I did it a little bit different. I didn't put, like with the Starburst, I numbered all the packs. I didn't do that this time. Again, I just took whatever the first page was, and whatever word was on there, that became the title. So when you go to choose what you want, you'll just choose whatever name is on the front of that pack. This is a mix of all the pages in the book, and I have taken great care to make sure that it is an even, equal mix. So this is the one called Pools, and these are the pages that you will see in this pack. This had some cool stories. There was an Arnold Lobel story that, and if you know Frog and Toad, you know what I'm talking about. There was this one story called Musha. Let me see here, which I had never heard of this story. Oh, Musu, sorry, Musu and the Night Noises, and the illustrations were just amazing. There was Ira Sleeps Over, if you remember that book. This one about the raccoon with the rainbow, oh, the colors were amazing on that one. So each pack has 10 carefully mixed pages, and each pack, so like the Pools pack, all 3 of these are the same. So it's just a duplicate. I made sure these have the same pages as this and this. So there are 3 of each of these, and they are already in my Etsy shop. Before I get to showing you these journals, I want to talk to you just a little bit about some changes that you might see in my shop. So Etsy has decided that in order to get your items viewed as one of the top priority shops, they are going to give priority to shops that give free shipping. So they're strongly encouraging you to try out free shipping. So here's the thing. If you go to my shop, you're probably going to see some differences, because I think almost everything in my shop now I have turned over to the free shipping, because I'm just going to try it and see what happens. But here's my thing. Here's my problem with free shipping. It's not free. There's no free shipping. The United States Post Office is not just going to do their work for free. So I don't really like the term free shipping, because what I would rather them say is shipping included, because that's basically what you're doing, and that's what Etsy is encouraging their shop owners to do, is to take those shipping charges and just put them into your formula of how you come up with your prices. So I thought I would try it out, and I've come up with a couple of things. The thing is that it is a convenience for the customers, because one, you don't have to try to guess what the final cost is going to be when you are shopping. And I know as a shopper, I shop eBay, I shop Etsy, I always put everything in my cart, and then I go to my cart to see how much it's going to cost with shipping. So this is going to take the guesswork out of that, because you will already know the prices up front. The only exception will be those states that are being taxed. Your tax, I know, will go on after the shipping. So anyway, it's a convenience to the seller. The other thing is that as a shopper, you do not have to worry about shipping. it is all on my end. So I will choose your shipping for you. I will put in, you know, how much the package weighs, and I will do all of that stuff, and you don't have to worry about anything. Not that you did, but there were some options in my shop where you had to choose between media or first class or priority. That has totally been taken away when we do free shipping, and I'm going to use air quotes there, because now all that is done on my end. So I'm going to try it out and we'll see. So when you go to my shop, you will see that it says free shipping. That just means that shipping is included, and I have gone ahead and I have calculated how much it's going to cost and blah, 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 blah. So all that is nothing is changing. Everything is staying the same. I know it looks like my prices have gone up, but my prices are still the same. It's just that now you don't have to worry about, oh, it's blah, blah, blah plus shipping. Now it's just one total cost. Okay, so having said that, let me show you these journals. Okay, so I took that honeycomb book and I gutted it and I turned them into these 3 journals, and I am loving these guys. They are they're super cute. Okay, so these are hardcover, but they're going to have a flexible spine. So it's not a flat, hard spine. There's a lot of squish still in this spine. And it is actually, the whole book is intact. I did not have to put a new spine on or anything. I'm using the old spine. I just reinforced it. I did a lot of decorative painting on this. So you're going to see all kinds of crazy paint. And then once I did all my painting, I sealed it with a spray sealant. So everything should be nice and preserved underneath. You'll have a strip of fabric, and so this was the coordinating fabric that went with the sailboats. And so this is some nice vintage fabric, and I love the colors. And then I just did some weird little tag on the front. I will be honest, I did not make this tag. One of my beautiful friends made this and sent them to me. So there are 3 handmade tags, or there are handmade tags on each of the 3 journals. And then this is just a page from that Seashore field guide, and then a scrap of fabric. And yeah. So here we go. Let me show you the inside. Decorative, some of my favorite decorative paper on the front, and then here's a little fabric pocket, and then on the back, make sure I'm in view here, on the back, that same, this is like a handmade decorative paper. It's a really thick paper, and I left this one blank because I figured you could put whatever you want on here. A lot of people like to glue cards or pockets or envelopes, or doodle or whatever. So this one's blank, but the front one has a pocket. There are 3 signatures, and as I typically do, these guys are all set up pretty much the same. They're just different colors and designs for each of the 3 journals. So wallpaper, some stationery, calendar pages, some storybook pages, graph paper, some more stationery. This is an ABC workbook that's a big pocket, a side pocket. This is from a sunset cookbook, and then some nice thick scrapbook paper, cardstock scrapbook paper, that's a pocket. This is some wallpaper that I've stitched in. And again, the calendars may be upside down or right side up. It just really depended on what was on the back side. If I thought it could be something that would be of inspiration to you, I left it right side up. If not, I flipped the calendar around. So wallpaper again, stationery, some cross stitch paper, some letterhead paper. This is a book of birds, nice and thick and matte. This is some of that crazy Denison paper, office paper that I got when I was on vacation in Colorado. It was in my video, I think, of my thrift haul, mountain thrift haul. This is some, oh, I found these tablets. They were tablets for notaries. And so this is just some book where you would sign in if you were getting something notarized. Another piece from that cookbook. And then scrapbook paper again. And then this is a little card. Okay, and then the last signature, wallpaper. This is a piece from the, oh, I know what it was. It was a piece from this atlas. And so I took and just sewed it on the front here because this being so dark, it gives you a nice light place to maybe do some journaling or doodling if you didn't want to doodle on this. Although a white pen or metallic markers and stuff would work really well on this wallpaper. Some stationery, an envelope that I deconstructed and then sewed in, some music paper, and it's music because it has the songs, some graph paper, grid paper, stationery. This is a sewing paper from a sewing book, and then I just made a top loading pocket. And then there's your scrapbook paper. And then this folds out to give you a little bit of extra room. And then this one folds out to give you a little bit of extra room. So that's the blue, the red, white, and blue one. This one is more of like an orange, peach, pink, with some brown and some turquoise. Love this color combination. Again with the tag, and just set up the same way. On the inside, here's some decorative handmade paper. Here's your pocket. And then here's the back. All right, so same setup. Wallpaper, stationery, book pages, the top loading pocket, the recipe, and then your cardstock, that's the scrapbook paper. The deconstructed envelope. Then here's another piece of wallpaper, stationery, graph paper, storybook paper, stationery. This is cross stitch, graph paper. And then the back side. I like the size of this because the pages are about, I went up to about 7 inches on these pages, and that gives you a lot of nice room. And when you have what I have found is when you have a page that's at least 6 inches, it allows that paper to kind of lay over. Anything shorter than that, your page kind of wants to stick up. But once you go to about 6 inches, it lays nicely. And I don't know, just as a journaler myself, that's just something I really like. There's the pocket. And there's the back. Okay, so this is like the orange, brown, pink, turquoise one. And then the last one, this is a green one. So this is some green, this looks like picnic fabric for whatever reason. It just looks like it's a picnic. And here's the back. Lots of texture on this. You would never know that these books were dark purple with a big old B on the front. So here's the inside, the pocket, and then here's the inside. Those are birds, the back side. All right, wallpaper, calendar page, some paper where you would, I can't even think, I'm just going to call it office paper. Stationery. The deep pocket, and I have not filled any of the pockets. I love how I stitched these little pieces of wallpaper to the recipe pages. I don't know, it just kind of adds another little piece of interest there. This paper is gorgeous. Again, this is birds. And that recipe, that Sunset Cookbook, the recipes have the most exquisite vintage illustrations. I love the colors of them. Like this right here. This is so cool. That's from that Sunset book. There's the bird book again. So lots of things that can get you inspired, but lots of white, what I call blank space for you to do your journaling on. And to me, this is blank space. This is blank space. Not a stark white paper. Of course, that could be blank space, but a lot of places where you can just kind of do your own thing. Yeah, I don't think I could do a journal that has stark white paper. That freaks me out. I gotta have something on there. I like words. I like words on my papers. Just that black and white. To me, that's a blank slate. And then here's the last page right there. So, yes, yes, yes. These guys are not in my shop yet. So today is the 13th. Let's do tomorrow, Sunday, the 14th, and let's do it in the evening. How about 7 p.m. Central Time? I will list these guys in my shop Sunday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Everything else that I showed you guys is already in the shop. Things I've got coming up that I'm going to work on, put some new golden books in. I also have this crazy mix of wrapping paper. Do you want to see it? It's unreal. Like, you won't even believe it. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, went to this estate sale, and it was, I don't know, it was right before 4th of July, so it just wasn't the best. Like, there wasn't a lot, and everything was kind of expensive. But I was in this one sale, and I think the lady's name was Dorothy, and I don't know, I just wanted to buy something. So I was down in the basement, and there was this gigantic rubber tub full of all these rolls of wrapping paper. And usually I walk away from new wrapping paper because, you know, I like vintage wrapping paper. And so I was like, okay, I'll take it. Oh my goodness, kiddos. It was insane. This woman Dorothy was a wrapping paper freak. She bought wrapping paper that is like, the quality of this is better than some of my clothing. I'm not kidding you. So I know I usually do vintage wrapping paper, but this was too good. So what I did was I took it all out of the rolls and I folded it up so I could at least manage it, and so it could kind of get the circular shape out of it. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I think I'll put these into some wrapping paper packs, and I'm kind of excited. So I know they won't be vintage, but they're can you imagine these in your journals? Wouldn't this just be so fun to put as a background? Now, check this out. This one, and I think this one right here. Okay, and I'm not a wrapping paper person because I like vintage wrapping paper, and then if I give gifts, I don't ever wrap it because to me, that's a waste of paper. Wrapping paper should be used for art, not for wrapping gifts. But this wrapping paper, you might know it. I don't know. It is like plastic. There's something about this wrapping paper. It's not paper. It's not crinkly like paper. It's like it feels like plastic or rubber or I can't even explain it. And it's heavy. I'm blown away. And so here, look at this. Oh my gosh, this was a huge piece of it. So I need to cut this stuff down, and I need to get this stuff in my shop. Get some wrapping paper packs in my shop because this is just too good to pass up. These colors, and look at this. This is like foil. Oh, yeah. This is good stuff. And they all coordinate. Like all of these colors coordinate. Dorothy must have been a professional wrapping, just a professional wrapper, I suppose. Rapper Dorothy. Because her wrapping paper is unreal. So I want to be working on these and get these into the shop sometime soon. And I'm waiting on something to come in the mail before I get started on my next project, my next journal project. But let's just say this. I finally found some thrift store corduroy. It had been forever. I've been searching for corduroy forever. And the other day I walked in my favorite thrift store, and lo and behold, there was this bundle of corduroy. So I took it home, I washed it, let it dry out in the sun. It's going to be perfect for my next round of journals, and they're going to be the smaller journals, kind of like the those rabbit journals that I had last week. And yeah, I don't want to let anything like any secrets out, but let's just say it has to do with the weather. So those are some things I want to be working on too. So I had a lot of projects going on this week. And I also have some videos that I want to show you guys. I got a couple process videos. I also want to do a flip through on my Days of Summer journal. And the big thing, I'm getting ready for Find Your Style 2. I've already got everything laid out. I know what I'm going to do. I've got some of my videos filmed. And it's going to be exciting. I cannot wait to do Finding Your Style 2. I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy it. Okay, thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you got inspired by some of the stuff that I showed you. Check out my Etsy shop if you were interested in any of the items. And then the journals I will have listed in my shop Sunday, July 14th, and we'll do 7 p.m. Central Time. I hope you're healthy, I hope you're happy, and I hope you do something creative today. Bye.